All right. And now, your bonds.
I have 2 bonds. Fun is a friend of nature, so I will be their friend as well. So, yay. And Finkelmer has no respect for nature, so I have no respect for you.
That's believable.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will have no problem.
Because wizards probably like, do crazy shit with nature.
Okay.
So
Those are your 2?
Like, yeah.
All right, and Finkelmer.
Finkelmer is too human for me. I'm like,
All right. Fawn will play an important role in events to come. I have foreseen it. Sylph is keeping an important secret from me.
You'll never get it. You'll never.
Is woefully misinformed about the world. I will teach them all that I can.
Teaching. That's nice. That sounds very nice.
Yes, yes.
Okay, guys. Well, to get this started, I'll do a description of the place and the world. Due to the bond system, it sounds like you guys are all familiar with each other on some level. So I don't think we'll be role-playing like this happenstance group of people coming together, but I'm going to leave it to you guys to tell me on what level you're working with each other or how this happened. I'm just going to put you in the same spot and then say go.
Cool.
But before we get there, so you are on... The land is called home, the world is called home, and that's, as far as the eye can see, that's what you guys do. There's empires, and you'll hear about that as we go and that kind of thing. But I'm going to start you off in a seafaring town, a city, a pretty big one, and it's going to be the city of Myrrh. And it's a really nice place. People are very friendly. It's a little bit outside the more war-torn areas. There are dangerous forests. There are treacherous lands, but this is a little bit more... The closer you get to water, the more established things are, and the more like refined and okay things are. I mean, certainly if a person travels by themselves between towns, they better be well armed and ready to deal with bandits or thieves. But this town's a pretty okay town. There are rumors on the horizon, if you will, about dark deeds being done, the whisperings of necromancers and dragon alliances and the darker forces. And to give you an idea of that climate too, for the most part, it's humanity. They're fairly unified. There will be this king battling that king, that kind of a thing. But that's less common. It's usually humanity aligned itself against the darker forces, which are like these sovereign dragons that have kind of independent armies working with them to feed them and to fill their caves with treasure, and they're just greedy monsters. And then the evil people are the necromancers, which nobody knows very much about because usually when you encounter them, you die immediately and then come back again as one of their thralls. That's the description.
Awesome.
Steph, you couldn't hear for 2 seconds.
I'd like to cast a spell.
Go for it.
I cast telepathy on
Okay, so before we do that, you guys are you're in the town of Myrrh. I didn't actually think about how that relates to and I'm just going to assume you guys are in the same tavern, as I believe it's prerequisite that every single campaign has to start off in a tavern. Yeah. So you guys are there.
Is it called the Red Dragon Tavern?
It is.
Excellent.
I cast telepathy on
Okay, I believe you have to roll for that, friend.
I rolled 2d6.
Telepathy?
Yep, 2d6 plus your intelligence.
No,
Do I see
my intelligence score, not the whole 16 of it.
Yeah,
right?
the modifier.
Oh, telepathy is knowing what I see, right?
10. Is that a pass?
That's a pass.
All right, and I can now think to each other. You can communicate with me,
Well, right now I'm just like, Myrrh.
Yeah, I know. I put my hand on your shoulder, and now you and I can talk.
Myrrh.
Hey, how's it going, I've never spoken to you before.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
What is going on?
We can talk.
Who are you?
I'm the dude sitting right next to you. Look to your right. I have my hand on your shoulder. I'm going to scratch you behind the ear.
And then I walk away. and then I look at you. I'm like, don't touch me. What?
I look at the interaction and I'm like, what are you doing? You're scaring her. What's going on?
And then I look at you and I'm like, fais quelque chose, j'ai peur. Je l'entends dans ma tête.
Stop what you're doing right now. What's wrong with you? You're scaring her.
So you guys are sitting at the
I'll
table.
scare you if you want to be scared.
I come running down the stairs, carrying like a roll of parchment in my hand, And I walk up to the table and I say, guys, we got to go. Come on.
And I don't know that.
Who are you to tell us what to do?
We got to go. Really. It's really time.
Who are you to tell me what to do?
Over my shoulder.
Bard.
Look, I've got some really fantastic information. We don't have to stay here any longer in this shitty-ass tavern drinking their shitty-ass piss water because I've got the key to some awesome loot.
Barkeep
then you can give us a moment to explain it. I'm not.
Hears you say that. He says, "Hey, you don't need to be using harsh language."
Apologies, innkeeper. Look, we've really got to go. I had to sleep with the mayor's daughter to get this piece of parchment, so we really need to get out of here.
I want to grab the parchment from his hand.
It's worth noting, in the city of Myrrh, by the way, harsh language is actually outlawed. It's a lot like the futuristic city/landscape of that Sylvester Stallone movie. God dang it! With us, you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
The Three Seashells movie.
Nope. Demolition Man.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you, Demolition Man. So no cussing, or else police will come after you.
Son of Palor.
I try and grab the paper from his hand.
Insane from trying to hold myself in place.
I try and grab the paper from his hand.
I pull it away.
I try and do it anyway.
What are you trying? Guards. This
Wait,
gentleman
don't I get to roll to see if I get to grab the paper from his hand? Who are you to dictate what happens? You're not the DM.
As Sylph calls for guards, a large, barrel-chested man at the door, who is the bouncer for the Red Dragon Inn, notices this and then continues to stand by the door because he's fat and lazy.
I look over to the guard by the door and I say, "Ho there, ho, hey, guard, listen, you. I can offer you wealth and riches beyond your imagining if you simply come with me out this door right now, please."
This gets his attention. He shrugs and opens the door for you to step out.
Geoff, I'm casting invisibility.
I would like to try and parlay with this guard.
All right, hang on.
Shit,
Neal is
6 on my invisibility.
What's that?
You roll 6 on my invisibility.
That is a fail.
No.
So as this is happening, there's all this chaos. Sylph is calling to the guard at the door, or the bouncer, to walk out. Fawn and seem quite upset. All of a sudden, Finkelmore starts to kind of... who are you casting it at?
I'm casting on myself. I'm trying to turn myself
invisible. He starts to kind of magic hands himself, and he twirls his fingers, and nothing seems to happen, but the drunk bartender notices this and says, "Hey! If you're just going to fondle yourself, you do it out of here. You get out. You get out now. You're not welcome here anymore. Get out."
Excellent idea, sir. Please, let's step outside, Finkelmer. I don't
get
like
out of
what
my
you're
bar.
doing with
I
your
try and
bar.
grab the paper from his hand again.
Come on, Finkelmer.
At some point, I got to make an attack roll, right?
Are you trying to attack me?
I'm trying to grab the paper from your hand.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's an action. Absolutely.
PvP is actually quite challenging in Dungeon World. All right, so go ahead and roll your...
what is it?
I guess it'd be hack and slash.
What is the roll?
It's 2d6 plus your strength.
Oh, shit, that was bad. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Oh, God.
5. So he actually reaches for the paper, but clumsily trips on his robes and face plants on the table and rolls off, shattering the table.
Hang on, because that was a hack and slash. Surely I get to make an attack for free.
Yeah, okay. My apologies.
So he reaches out towards my paper in my hand, and I grab his wrist and I twist it around behind him and I slam him against the table, and he just like rolls off onto the ground groaning.
Don't you have to make an attack roll for that?
No, if you fail, it just...
If I fail, you get to declare any action you want in counter?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a narrative game, my friend.
All right, did not know this. Okay.
Yeah. So like the GM will never roll for attacks.
Guys, please stop fighting here. I don't want anyone to be harmed.
Hey!
Hey, Fawn, we should
get out! And he
we
gets
should go.
up, and he comes shuffling over, and you'll notice the barkeep is very drunk.
I'm already outside because when she told me, "Go out," I just listened, and I'm with my cougar outside.
He picks up Finkelmore and starts shoving him sloppily and drunkenly towards the door.
And I just sort of stride out the door with my ostentatious cape billowing in the breeze as I leave, and my beer gut prominently preceding me. And I toss over my shoulder. I say, "Innkeep, Finkelmore will cover our tab." And I toss my cloak and I stride down the road.
I will not cover his tab. He has to pay his own. He's been drinking here all week.
I'm halfway down the road.
Yeah, he's halfway down the road. You better go chase after him because we're not actually friends.
What? You said you're paying. What do you mean you're not paying?
Oh yeah.
I say you are paying then, and I walk out.
Neal, you have to mark.
Guards! And there's only the one
Who already walked out with Finkel.
He opened the door for you guys, but he hears this and is employed there. So he is going to... He reaches to put a meaty hand on your shoulder to stop you. What do you do? And it is you, Finkelmer.
I look up at him and blink and step really close to him, like uncomfortably close, like inside his personal bubble. And then I bend my knee ever so slightly towards his crotch.
Okay, so you're just doing that, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, his hand is on you. He looks at you, and the barkeep says, again, kind of from behind this just mountain of a man. Very large man, by the way, about 6'3" or 4", which back then is gigantic.
It's okay, I like him big.
Not fat per se, but fat, as well as very well muscled. Your typical bar bouncer.
Right.
And he says, "Bub, I want you to break his fingers until he pays." And his hand slides off your shoulder onto your hand. What do you do?
I look behind me and I see that Finkelmer is
halfway down the
actually in
street.
danger.
I thought you said you were halfway down the street and I'm still inside.
Are you still inside, or are you?
You threw me on a table.
Outside the door. They're just outside.
Okay. If they're just outside the door, then I turn over my shoulder. I see that he's actually in trouble, and I come back.
Okay, girls.
All right.
Or
What are you
girl
doing?
plus
Please,
whatever.
please stop.
I'm
Who needs
casting
your violence?
Fireball.
He's got his hand on your hand. You're gonna do what?
I'm casting Fireball.
How can you cast with just one hand?
I don't know. Can I cast Fireball with one hand?
I think so. I believe
There's nothing
you
in the rules that says you can't.
Okay. He's going to attempt to cast Fireball.
Inside the building. I'm going to destroy the inn if I can.
Well, hang on. Again, you just failed anyway. So.
I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, okay. I thought that was it right there.
No, I haven't rolled yet.
I think it'll be so it would be you'd get your modifier of it's intelligence for spells, right?
Yeah, it would be 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah, I guess since it's intelligence and not like attack for strength or anything like that, you just begin to start wiggle your fingers and try to cast Fireball. This guy is holding you at point blank range with his hand around you, though. So
yeah, this is gonna be interesting one way or the other, right?
Okay. Please.
11.
No, that's a success. So what is the damage and what's the description of Fireball?
You evoke a mighty ball of flame that envelops your target and everyone nearby, inflicting 2d6 damage, which ignores armor.
Neal.
Everyone
Holy shit.
nearby.
Absolutely hits you as well. Just so
I'm casting it inside the building.
Oh,
You said we're
Neal,
outside.
Neal.
Wait a minute.
If we get hit by this fireball, if I get hit by the fireball, then I get hit by the fireball. But I'm trying to
been
cast
very
it.
clear from the beginning that he's holding your hand, so it's not like you rip your hand away, which would be a separate action.
I have a
by the way.
second
You have to do
hand. Can't I cast it from the second hand?
behind him into the room?
Like, I mean, if you're in front of me, even if you're a big guy, I can like reach my arm to the side of you.
I just don't understand the logic. So you literally like reach around him and cast a fireball into a room of innocent people.
Yes, well, into the room with the Well, then he won't have a job to have to work. Like, then the person who's giving him the orders to break my hand will be dead, and then he won't have to break my hand
As I
anymore.
said from the very beginning, you're outside the door. He's standing behind the big guy who's holding your hand right now.
Well, then I guess the proprietor won't have an inn to be paid to because I technically owe the debt to the inn, so we'll be fine.
Okay. Yep. So with this success, Neal reaches around with his other hand, his free hand, and throws a fireball into the building. It does 2d6 damage, so go ahead and roll for that, right?
7.
Does it say AoE on it or anything?
It says everyone nearby.
So himself too.
Just everyone nearby?
Evoke a mighty fireball that envelops your target and
Most
everyone
average
nearby.
people have D6 life, so with that being filled with average people, Finkelmer turns around, throws a gust of flame into the room. It engulfs the entire room. You can only hear the infernal shrieks of people bursting into flames and dying in the back room. And the guy holding your hand is completely thrown off by this, but also there's an explosion behind him and a gust of flame. So he kind of rocks forward. It doesn't knock him off his feet because he's gigantic, but he definitely forgets about holding your hand. And they both turn and they're so beyond shock, and they have no idea what the fuck just
I think I'm
happened.
going to gain experience at the end of the session for evil.
Only
Geoff,
fail.
this is an important place, and since this is like, you know, one of the first times I've been here, can you tell me who the aggressor is in this town? Like in these wars and these dragons and these undead, like who's the biggest aggressor this town is facing?
Every town, to a certain extent, deals with dragons because they have a home base, like they have a lair, but they're not truly nomadic in the sense, but their territory is quite large. And the threat that a dragon poses is that their territory expands all the time. So there is a local dragon that they're dealing with. And I guess...
All right, Geoff.
Go ahead.
I'm going to try and defy danger by talking my way out of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to point down the road and say, holy shit, that dragon sorcerer just threw a fireball into the inn. Oh my god, everybody run. This is awful. The dragons are invading. Ah!
All right.
I run, by the way. And when they let go of my hands,
one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Jesus, DMing you DMs is hard. You guys are all over the
they're
place.
like
Slow it
talking.
down.
Fawn and Eric can't talk.
So Steven is going to attempt. This is an actual play, by the way.
They will just speak French.
Yep.
You guys
This is
need
an
to look at
actual
this. Look at
play.
this because you have actions to do, and he's choosing one. So what is it rolled against?
It's rolled versus my charisma. So here's my roll. So I have a 9.
So
That's
partial.
defy danger. So you get to give me a hard bargain or an ugly choice.
Is that exactly what it sounds like?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So the hard bargain or an ugly choice. I guess
a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice.
a worse outcome
Mm-hmm.
or what?
A worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. So, like, if what I'm trying to do is, like, completely convince the townsfolk that this fireball did not come from us, well, maybe,
Okay.
you know.
I have an
up to
idea, I guess. So the partial would be that you convince the immediate people in the town to start running around screaming that a dragon sorcerer is here.
Mhm.
But truthfully, the two witnesses, the big guy and the guy that owned the tavern, very well know that that's not the case. They saw, they saw Finkelmer fire the fireball.
Mhm.
So that's one choice, and then the other one would be that. Sorry, thinking about this on the fly is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really hard.
The people running into the explosion all believe that you are telling the truth, or they're going to work on the fire and try to save people there. But the guy and the bodyguard immediately know who to blame and start to assault Finkelmer.
Huh. So either people run around spreading the word that there's a dragon sorcerer, or they go running to help the fire. But either way, everybody, or the two people holding Finkelmer, know that it's him.
Yeah, since
Okay.
it's partial, I think that's most fair.
So I'm going to choose that the people in the immediate vicinity begin running around saying that there's a dragon sorcerer, and then I'm going to start running towards the two people holding Finkelmer.
They let go
Okay.
of me. I ran.
Yeah, so Finkelmer is scrambling in the direction of you, but as you
Okay.
scream this, it's the equivalent of saying bomb on an airplane back then.
Yep.
Everyone starts there's just like papers fluttering up in the air, children are crying, the door shutters are slamming shut, and just everyone starts running around everywhere. Guards come flying out, and they wear golden armor in this town, but it's not truly gold, obviously just painted gold. They come running out, and they're like looking around to see what's happening. They see this burning, exploding inferno of a tavern, and they hear people yelling about sorcerers and fires and dragons, so they actually run towards the building to go help it. But as this happens, the awe wears off, and Bub and the barkeep turn around and start looking at Finkelmer scrambling off.
Is this
Oh,
in
man.
the middle of the town or like on the sides?
It's like by the water side. It's kind of on the
Is it
side.
near
of town.
vegetation and nature?
I mean, there's beautiful livery everywhere. It's not like it's not all pavement, or not pavement, excuse me, but like stones and stuff like that. There's some bushes and stuff.
Is,
So,
go ahead.
okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to know what's going on with Filkermer. Is he running? Is he near the guy still?
He
Are
said
the
he's
guy
running.
chasing him? Okay, nobody's chasing him?
I'm running towards the rest of the party.
Okay, I peek and I look behind him and I see if anyone's chasing him. Is anyone chasing him?
They look towards him, and you can see just hate in their eyes, but one of them is pissed drunk and the other is a fat, gigantic man. So they both kind of know that they can't catch Finkelmer, and they're just staring at him with hate.
Okay, so I tap on my cougar's back and I basically tell him to like get the fuck out so he's not caught in the confusing of the crowd. And I move stealthily behind people and I wait for the party.
So it's all chaos. So to paint the scenario for you guys, there's people freaking out, screaming. It's very loud. They're all freaking out. Apparently, is hiding with her cat in the shadows.
I'm waiting for my party to regroup.
Finkelmer,
okay.
How far are you running? What are you doing?
I'm with Finkelmer now, right? I'm going to be running along with him and just like throw my arm over him as we go. And I'm going to say, buddy, we got to get out of this town by the bloody-handed hand of the bloody-handed god. We really got to get out of here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go.
Fawn,
Is that Cat with us? Hey, Cat, listen. What is?
Lead the way?
Can you do your thing to her? Let's go.
How was the mayor's daughter?
Okay,
so Fawn, what are you doing?
I tell her that we should move forwards and follow the group. I'm like, allez, on y va!
Ok, j'envoie mon chat, il va faire du reconning. Let's go.
Okay, so she says she's gonna send the cat forwards.
I telepathy to her. That's a pretty good plan. What's your cat's name?
Where do you put your hand?
Rar is my cat's name, and then I'm like, damn it! I don't want to tell you Rar. I'm conflicted in my head.
Stop doing this to her!
What's wrong with you? I'm just talking to her. What?
Such a weird conversation to have.
Do you seriously want to be the only person that can talk to her? You know that's an abusive relationship. You're very controlling. You know, that's kind of wrong.
Well, she's my friend.
She's your friend, so I'm not allowed to talk to her? You have to translate for her. That sounds like you're holding her in slavery. Sylph, don't you think this is actually a form of slavery? She's not letting her actually communicate with anyone outside of the world.
I start running faster.
Are there gates to this town, or is it an ungated settlement?
No, it's definitely it's a city, and it's
Okay.
and it's a defended city. So I guess you guys are running out of town quite literally.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's my plan.
Okay, so you guys are running, having this really weird because again, I'm going to challenge you guys. We're going to roleplay as close to reality as we possibly can. You guys are sprinting. Neal has his hand on and is like,
No, I don't need the hand on her to talk.
I think what you're doing is slavery. And they're like, no, it's not. We're best friends. And they're like, you guys are having this talk while sprinting.
I don't need to
That's
touch her
my
to talk.
reaction.
What's that?
I don't need to touch her to talk.
Okay.
No?
Either way,
No.
you're staring focused at her skull at the back of her
They're just like beaming mind brains back and
You're a
forth.
slave. And she's like, no, I'm not. We're best friends. Anyways, you guys run. Again, the further you get out, the less panic there is, but there's still people that can see smoke and fires in the sky, so they're it's more wonderment at this point in time to terror.
As we go, I just like toss words to people nearby. I'm like, Dragon Sorcerer, attack the inn. Hey, Red Dragon Inn, burn into the ground. Dragon Sorcerers, coming through town. Dragon Sorcerer, hey, you got to get out of town. We got to get out of town. Let's get out of town. Dragon Sorcerers, let's go.
In kind of a wake behind Sylph then is people putting their hands to their mouth and whispering to each other. Not, again, the terror response, just hearing that, but enough that they're like very concerned and talking about this. So you guys come running up to the gate. It is closed, and there are guards there. Again, 2 purple and gold light knights. Not even knights, just guardsmen. But they're all well-armed, well-armored. But they, too, are distracted and staring down the street at this burning inferno.
You know what,
What
Geoff?
guys
Now
do?
that I'm at the gates, which is obviously an important place in the city, what is the highest authority that this city responds to?
Well, that'd be King Elmar.
King Elmer. Okay, so I hold up this piece of scrap paper and I say, "Hail, hail, good friends! Hail, hail, guards and friends and guard friends! Listen. I have here a writ from King Elmer himself. He is sending us on a quest to go defeat some dragon sorcerers who have just attacked the town. Did you see the fire? Dragon sorcerers. Can you please open the gate for us?"
They both kind of look down and they take the paper from you. They're still very distractedly looking.
Oh, I'll let him take the paper. Come on. Then it'd be obvious I was bullshitting.
You snatch the paper away from him.
Yeah, I say, hold, friend, hold. We really need to get out of this gate as quickly as possible.
Why don't we just walk out the gate then?
It's closed.
Oh, I missed that.
I open my pouch and I say, listen. I have some of the finest Longshire leaf here. If it would help to expedite the process of the opening of the gates and the getting out of the town where the dragon sorcerer is burning everything to...
You're talking a lot. The
I
town's
send my
locked
cougar.
down right now. There's an emergency that's going on right now. You'd have to get clearance from an
Where's the
officer.
cougar
to get
going?
through.
Ah,
I said my
that's
cougar.
exactly what this is.
My cougar jumps on the guard.
You sick your cougar on the guard?
Yeah. I just said my cougar.
I need to get away from these people.
I know. This is not going to last 2 weeks, guys. Anyways.
There's only
make
2
your
guards,
roll.
no? There's only 2 guards?
There's only 2 guards that you see. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Holy shit.
Oh, it's like it's like a fortress? Kind
you're
of
in the
thing?
middle of a city.
Oh,
Yes.
shit, I can't hear you.
Like that.
It's like a fortress?
Yeah, it's a city, man.
No,
It's a
but-
kingdom.
But is it like just a gate with nobody can stand at the top? Or is it like a castle where people can stand at the top and
Oh yeah, it's not like you just sick your cougar into 40 people or something like that, but there's 2 down on the ground that man the gate that, normally a caravan or travelers would come in between. But behind them it kind of leads into, like a guard post that goes into the wall, which then feeds into the barracks, which there are archers up here patrolling back and forth. Now,
okay,
again,
well,
not thousands, but there's a
okay,
couple.
well, I wouldn't send my tiger in. I thought
I'll
it was
let-
just like 2 guys in the fucking wild, and I was.
I'll
just
let
like,
you mulligan it, but in the future, before you sick an
Okay.
animal on somebody, ask
Fine,
me
fine,
what
fine.
scenario we were looking at.
I apologize.
So,
Okay.
hang on. Are they still potentially interested in this leaf?
Well, guys, I think we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll find out if Sylph's Leaf Gambit will get them out of the town that is otherwise in lockdown for
It's
help.
the finest Longshire leaf, man. The finest.
All right. We'll see you guys in a bit.